Hello, I'm back a little earlier than planned. I found out tomorrow actually I've got to go in and pick up my new glasses. So I'm going to do that, and I thought, well, I might as well post this one. And you probably won't read it until Wednesday or tomorrow. I mean, anyway. Anyway, the last time we left off, the Israelites had fallen so far away from God and were even worshiping idols. And they went to war against the Philistines went to war against the Israelites. And the Israelites, two of them, it was Eli's two sons, said, let's go get the Ark of the Covenant. Maybe that'll help us. But it didn't, because God wasn't in the whole deal at all. He wasn't in the Ark, and he wasn't in their hearts. So they lost the war. Israelites are running home, and the Philistines, aha, we got them. And so the Philistines grabbed the cart that the Ark was on, that they had thought they could bring into war to help them win the war. Well, it didn't help. So the Philistines took the Ark and they brought it all the way back to their city. I think it's called Ashdod in Philistia. And this was their headquarters, where their fish god, Dagon, was in the temple. This big man with a head of a man, arms of a man, but the body of a fish. So they stole the ark away. They got it. They thought, oh, it's probably full of gold and jewels, and we know that it helps Israel, so it's surely going to help us. With the Philistines could use something like this. So they brought it into the temple of Dagon, put it in the same room, and closed up for the night, went home. When they got up in the morning, Dagon, which was a huge image, statue, it had fallen forward, and it was on its face, and the ark was above it there, it was ahead of it. And they thought, oh my goodness. So they set it up, and they put it back up again. And they went home the next night thinking, okay, everything's good now. We've got the ark. Everything's fine. Well, they went in again the next morning, only this time it not only had fallen in front of the ark, but its head had cracked off. It was rolling around on the floor, and its arms were gone. And they thought, oh, this isn't good. And then the men started, if I can get through this without laughing, I'm sorry, I apologize ahead of time. The men started feeling uncomfortable in there. And they went home feeling so miserable. And they found out they had, it's called hemorrhoids in the Bible, but we call it hemorrhoids. And they had a terrible case of hemorrhoids. I don't think they had any preparation H back then. I'm sorry, I apologize. This just gets funnier as it goes on. And anyway, they said, well, we can't, this ark is doing it. Every time we touch the thing, we get worse. So they put it on a cart and they sent it over to another town. And those people took the ark in, and the same thing happened to them. I'm sorry. It says even the kids, everybody broke out with hemorrhoids. They could hardly walk. How much time do I have left? I have to cut this off, I think. Oh, I got to finish this out. They said, we don't want that ark here anymore. It's just, and they were just dying. It was so bad. The hemorrhoids were awful. Then they sent it to a third town. Same thing. Oh, and it indicates too there was like a inundation of mice. So they got mice, they got hemorrhoids, they're not in good shape. And so anyway, this went through, I think it was 4 towns. And they said, we got to get rid of this ark. It's the ark that's doing it. So the people got together and they called their wizards together, their fortune tellers and things, and the fortune tellers told them, well, if you send this back, but I wouldn't send it back empty or anything. Well, they hadn't taken anything. They were too sore. And so these wizards, soothsayers, told them to make little golden hemorrhoids, fashion them, one for each city, and then also make, I can't remember, it was 4 or 5 cities, and also to make 5 little golden mice and put them in a box next to the ark, as like to say we're sorry, and send the ark back to the Israelites with the golden hemorrhoids in them and the 5 golden mice. But it was in a box next to the ark in the cart. So they went and got 2 cows. And I've just got to finish this story out. They went and got 2 cows and sent them on their way. They didn't even want to get near the ark anymore, just let the cows. And they said, well, let's have 2 guys follow them and see where they go with it anyway. But they pointed it toward Israel. And the cows, it says that even the cows were mooing. They weren't even happy cows. It put that in the Bible. And they're taking the ark back with the golden hemorrhoids and the golden mice. I mean, talk about desecration of something. That was just awful. The Lord's covenant, that was when the Lord was in it, and the people worshipped it, and the Lord loved it that way because his presence was in there. It got over onto the Israel side of the property, and there was a couple of guys out in the field, and they saw, look what's coming. And sure enough, here comes these 2 cows carrying Ark of the Covenant in a wooden wagon. And they were so excited. Oh, they got excited. And they said, the ark is back. And they spread the word, the ark is back. And what they did is, I think this place was called Mizpah, M-I-Z-P-A-H. And so what they did is they took the ark out of the cart, and then they busted up the cart for the wood, and they made an altar there, and there was a stone there too. So they were able to smash the wood against the stone and build an altar. And then they took the 2 cows and they offered them as a sacrifice to say, Lord, we have been awful. We have been worshiping other things besides you. And we want the sin, and they slit its throat. We want the sin bled out of our lives, and we want the righteousness of the Lamb, of your forgiveness, of the 2 cows, to come into us. That's what it meant to them. But they didn't get it all the way back to Shiloh. And I forgot to tell you that in the meantime, while all this was happening, old Eli, the priest that was still in Shiloh in the tabernacle, he heard about his son's deaths. They were killed. And when he heard the Ark of the Covenant had been stolen, it says in the scriptures, he fell backwards off of his bench and he broke his neck and he died. So the person in charge now is little Samuel. Not little, he's a grown man now, is Samuel. And so they offered these 2 cows and said they were so sorry. Well, they made a mistake. Nobody was supposed to open the lid of the ark except the priest, high priest. And he was gone. And what's his name? Samuel was now a judge in Israel. And so it was a very bad mistake. A couple of the fellas opened the lid, which they were not supposed to do. And remember, inside the ark was, I'm sorry, the 10 Commandments, the Aaron's rod that budded, the whole law of Israel, and the golden pot with the manna in it. It was all the types of Jesus Christ. Jesus became the 10 Commandments. He became the manna from heaven, and he became Aaron's rod that budded. He's the vine, we are the branches. I mean, he became, and so it was a very special box. Well, they opened the lid, and they were not supposed to. God had ordered nobody open it. Well, the men that were, the men there, the Jewish men, they opened the lid, which was a bad thing, and immediately they were struck dead. So it seems as though God has returned, and they saw the gifts that the Philistines had sent them and stuff, and they got rid of those. But then there was a fellow that lived not too far from there, and they said, oh, we don't want this ark after hearing. Well, these two people that had come from the Philistine side that were watching all this, they saw all of this going on the Israeli side, and they went back home, scurried home again. Good, the ark is gone. Well, then the men that were in the field and the townspeople gathered around, they took the ark with no consequences, but they stored it in a man's house, and he kept it in, I would say, his garage. I don't know where they parked their camels or barns or whatever they had, wagons, and they stored it in there for 20 years. It was in there. And in the meantime, good old Samuel, he said, the Lord has been so angry with you. That's why he has left you. That's why you lost the war. He said, and I'm telling you, for the Lord, he wants you to get rid of every idol that you have out in your groves and vineyards, every idol in every place in your home. Smash it to smithereens. Get rid of the idol. God will not return and share space with your other religions that you supposedly have. And so they did that. They went home, and they had heard what happened to the Philistines, and they went home and they just emaciated everything, got rid of everything, and they had a big time of repentance and wanting to come back to the Lord again. So I'm going to leave it there. But right now, the ark is stored in this garage or tent, I don't know, for 20 years. Israel is wanting the Lord to come back. They got rid of their stuff, but they still felt empty. They wanted God back. Oh, and in the meantime, Samuel went home to his mom and dad's house in Ramah. He wasn't there anymore. So the tabernacle had just folded up, pulled up stakes. The ark was gone. The tabernacle was dissolved. So they still had it, but it was sort of like put in storage. And that's where, excuse me, if you want to read it, 1 Samuel chapter 6 and 7 for yourself, you'll see why I'm laughing. And I'm sorry, I don't mean any sacrilege in this at all, but just thinking of those people trying to navigate with the whole towns, even the kids, terrible pain. Okay, I gotta go. And before you just say goodbye, Debbie, get out of here. I love you guys. I'll be back Unfortunately for you, huh? That is a funny story.